Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. And today's case is very recent. This happened in the month of May, more specifically May 23rd of this year, 2022. At first I want to tip my hat to the Metro West Fire Protection and also the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, the Eureka Fire Protection District in this area. They just did an absolutely amazing job of getting in there so early and their coverage. And we're going to get into this more, but I just wanted to start off with that. And today we're going to be talking about the disappearance of Carol Schulte. And this case is very bizarre in many ways because of what happened. Now, I'm going to show you a few maps here to give you an idea. This is in the United States of America. If you look at the bigger map, it's west of the city of St. Louis. It's on this trail called the Foster Trail, which is in Wildwood. It's a small town. I'm going to show you some pictures of the park. It's very beautiful. It's obviously springtime, so everything is blooming. And it's also a very popular park, and there's also a lot of big marked trails. So this kind of thing is very unusual. As you can see, there's paved trails in many areas. However, speaking to some of the people that live in and around that area, people say that once you're off the trail, it can be very dangerous, very rocky, lots of cliffs, very thick. But as you can see, a lot of the trails are very easy to see. But then on the other hand, you can see that there are also very tall cliffs, lots of foliage and fauna. There's also the Merrimack River that runs through there, and we're of course going to be talking more about that. So there are dangers, but like I said, this is a very unusual situation. Now, Carol Schulte, she's 72 years old. She's roughly 125 pounds. She was a very experienced or very well-known hiker. She hiked this area a lot. This wasn't something out of the blue for her. She lived in this area for years. She was very well known and loved by the community. She was one of those people that would just give you the shirt off her back. One of the positive things in this case was that the search got started right away because one of her sons knew that something was wrong. So he contacted the police, and this investigation got started that day. Her stepson reported that she normally would be home around 9 a.m. and when she wasn't home by that time, he obviously hit the panic button, and members of both the St. Louis County Police, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, the Eureka Fire Protection District, the Metro West Fire Protection District, and tons of volunteers started searches using drones, air reconnaissance. They had hundreds of people. In fact, one of the investigators said that he was only expecting a few people to turn out, maybe 25, and the first day they had over 100. Now, they did find Carol's minivan parked next to, there's a small parking lot very close to the trailhead. I'm going to put a map up of that too. This is the parking lot, which is very close to the trailhead, and that was her maroon colored minivan that they found on the second day. They had a lot of good leads. As you can see, this is a very small area. There was only a couple other cars parked there at the time. So they thought that they had a very good chance of finding her. And this is the road coming into the actual parking lot. So they had search dogs, all kinds of search people going up and down this road in both directions. This is sort of an aerial view of various areas of the park. So as you can see, the river is pretty it would be bad if you fell in there, and the area is pretty dense. They had canine units. These are pictures that the West Side Fire District took, and they had all kinds of people from the community volunteering as well. They searched high and low that first 2 days, and unfortunately they found nothing. However, during one of the first couple of days, they did ping her cell phone, which they were excited about because that was a big clue. However, after that first ping and where they searched where that came from, that was it. It was either the cell phone died, or it had gotten wet, or it was turned off. And that was a huge blow to the investigation. They didn't let it get their spirits down. In fact, members of Carol's church joined the search, and they put up a post on Facebook. This is a quote from one of her friends. "Everyone I know that of her, she's always got a smile on her face. She would do anything for anybody. Never heard anything negative in one shape or form about Carol. She's just a wonderful person." They just really were very hopeful that they would find her. And they had, like I said, all kinds of aerial searches going on, and by the day number 4 though, they were starting to lose hope because this is a very well traveled area, and they just couldn't understand how Carol, who's somebody who knew this area and who walked these trails weekly, could have gotten lost or something could have happened to her. Keep in mind, this is a 72-year-old woman who only weighs about 128 pounds, 5'4". She was just out for a day hike. She had no supplies with her, despite maybe a water bottle. And so that meant she had spent at least 4 nights so far in the woods with nothing, and according to the weather and whatnot, it got down into very low temperatures, several nights into the low 40s. So people were obviously very concerned about her health and well-being, despite her knowledge of the trails in and out. And unfortunately, by day number 6, they called off the search, and of course that's always just a devastating blow for everyone involved, because you want to find answers, you want to find out what happened. However, in this case, that's not where the story ended. On the evening of May 30th in the Merrimack River, a boater who was just on his way home saw the remains floating of a body, what he thought was a body. Of course, he called 911. Authorities from many of the agencies that were involved in the search were on scene within minutes. They did as best they could to get her out of the water and brought her to the medical examiner's office. Sadly, of course, her family had to be called in, and they did make a positive identification and identified that it was 72-year-old Carol Schulte. This is where it very bizarre. There were no obvious signs of trauma to her body. They ruled out drowning, and they couldn't find any reason as to what happened to Carol. It was almost as if she just fallen in the water and passed away. They did a routine autopsy, of course. Her heart was okay. They did do extensive testing, and I know that they are doing further testing, but as of right now, they have no information or no reason as to how she perished. And of course, this is a two-way street. For the family, obviously, they have some closure, they have her remains, they can give her a proper burial, but also the mystery remains. What happened to her? According to her stepson and her church members, she was very familiar. She walked this trail every other day. She knew it very well, so they can't imagine what it became of her on that May day where she just walked off and was never seen again. What was also bizarre was that they interviewed a bunch of people that were on the trail that day, and no one reported seeing her. They interviewed a bunch of different people, and no one reported seeing Carol on the trail that day. They also tracked down all the other cars that were parked in the lot. They interviewed those people, and none of them reported seeing her either in the parking lot or on the trail, which I just thought was very bizarre. The investigating agencies working this case did make a public statement, and they said that they did not believe any foul play was involved. They said that they did not believe that there was any other person involved, because their rumors did start coming out. People thought that maybe she was being followed. However, Carol was very well known and beloved in this community. So all these people that knew her couldn't imagine anybody wanting to hurt her or do harm to her. And when they did find her remains, there was no sign of any injury or any foul play. So for the investigators, they ruled out foul play. But to me, it just rules out one other thing. What could have possibly happened? And this isn't the first case that we've covered on this channel where this situation almost identically has happened. I guess for me, in my point of view, when they rule out drowning and there's no obvious signs of trauma or anything else, and when they do a tox screen, that's all negative. It just seems like as if this person fell in the water and somehow passed away, and I just don't understand it. And like I said, we've covered several other cases where this exact situation has happened. They've found the remains in a body of water, they've ruled out drowning, all these other things that possibly could have happened. I'm wondering what you all think of these types of cases, and if you have any theories of what could have happened. I could understand if this was a one-time thing, but this happens seemingly all the time, and to me it's just a crazy mystery. And I thought I would share this video with you, even though it's sad and it's a tragedy. It just seems like it's something that we've seen many times before. The world lost a wonderful woman that day, and I just wish we had some answers, and I'm sure her family feels the same way. My thoughts and prayers go out to Carol, her family, all her friends and family, all the investigators that worked so hard to bring her home, and of course the boater that found her. My thoughts and prayers go out to all of you. I want to thank you all for watching, as always, and please remember when commenting, these are real people with real emotions. I know you have the right to comment whatever you want, but please just keep that in mind. I want to give a special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me till the end, and I just want to say thank you as always for watching and sticking with me in the channel. I should be leaving for my trip at the end of the week, and I just wanted to say I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you and just talking with you and finding out if there's any case you guys want me to cover. And also, I just wanted to send thoughts and prayers out to, I read this article that said in 165 days, there's already been 240 some odd of these crazy shootings, which is just awful, just awful. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand what these people are thinking, and I just wanted to send thoughts and prayers to everyone affected, and I believe that it affects everyone in America, worldwide. It's just, I feel like we're just going in the wrong direction.